All right. Turn on this mic real quick. Not going to be in here long. What's up, Clarence? Good to see you too. Good to see you, John. Hope y'all doing all right. So, how about we hit the record button and knock this thing out. The recording is going. Excellent. Looks like my levels are fair. That's done. A little bonus time for the community. Here we go. What is happening, everybody? I am Aunt Pruitt. Hope you're doing well. I am unbelievable as always. Sitting here on this time of recording, Monday, December 22nd, 2025 at 15:02. I wanted to do a quick recording of bonus, if you will, for our fine Patreon members. Thank y'all for being Patreon members, be it paid or for free. Really does mean a lot that you all are a part of the community and support the show. And I see some folks popping in here live. Thank y'all for being here live. We got the homie John Helm in the house. We got Mr. Clarence in the house. And I see Hybrid Media Consulting is in the house too. Good to see all of you, and happy holidays to each and every one of you. So what I want to do is in this bonus is just give a quick rundown on what's been happening. That was originally my thought, but then some stuff happened. So I want to dive into that because I think it should be said. It's just that. So first things first, let me switch my screen here and share the screen with you all. First things first, I want to mention Lamar Wilson, the big time famous content creator, YouTuber, Mr. Lamar Wilson. Apparently he has passed away, and this was confirmed according to people.com. This was confirmed on December 13th by his family. So I don't know. I guess it was sometime in November that he had passed away, unfortunately. But it later turned out that he had passed away by suicide. So this is the holiday season, and holiday seasons are supposedly jovial and happy and so forth, but we tend to forget that there's also people that are suffering during the holiday season too. And right now, I can guarantee that Lamar, his family are suffering right now during this time. And I also want to mention that Lamar Wilson was a freaking huge influence. And I don't mean that in the marketing, branding bullshit term. That dude was a huge influence. I remember catching him a gazillion years ago on YouTube when he was starting out. He used to be known as Wilson Tech 1 because he was a tech enthusiast, right? He was also I think he was an elementary school teacher or a middle school teacher, but he was a teacher up in Chicago. So he had huge influence over the youth. He had huge influence over the black youth that was curious in the tech space, and that should not go without being said. You know what I'm saying? And he was just a genuine, nerdy, funny dude. He was absolutely hilarious. And the video that I can't find now, because I think he may have unlisted a lot of things because he went through a bit of a rebranding, because the man, he gets it. It's branding. But there was a video he did when Instagram was big back in the days, and when it was only on iPhone, and then they finally announced it coming to Android. And he did a parody video talking about that news and the reaction from society of Instagram now coming to Android. It was so damn funny. And I was hooked in, but then as time goes on, he looks at the business side of things and went through a bit of a rebrand. And so it slowly changed over time, and he sort of got tired of tech. And I can echo his sentiments on that, because tech talk, man, it just seemed like it was a bit too much for the nuts and bolts of it. He would do a video on tech, and the comments would all be just the nitty grittiest of nerdy shit that most regular people don't care about. And he was a tech guy, but he was also a quote unquote normal guy, regular guy. And I'm saying that quotes, okay, air quotes. And so he sort of pivoted out of that because he wanted to continue to be related to everyday people, not just the tech nerds, that live and die by this stuff. But man, he was so funny. And I see John Helm has got some comments in here. He says his unboxing of the iPhone holding up the iMac screen. Yes, he was he was hilarious. Just crazy off the wall stuff. He was so good at this. But Lamar, I wish nothing but peace to you and your family during this time. And I appreciate you for what you did. And that's that. Lamar Wilson passed away, age 48. So now, with that said, I saw this cool thing on Instagram a while back. Excuse me. And I think it dated back to Thanksgiving. And it says, we wanted a forever hug from our 95-year-old grandmother, and mom, one could keep forever. So we made permanent hug shirts with the matriarch of our family. A hug we'll always remember. And it is a cool freaking idea. Let me see if I can get this to play. And I don't know if it's any audio. Well, don't know what happened to the audio. But if you look at this on the screen, and the people that are seeing this, it's only going to be the people in the bonus feed. They painted the grandparents' arms this yellow, like acrylic paint or something. And so when she goes to hug you in your white shirt, her arm prints are going to be all around the back and the front of your shirt. And it's really, really natural. Even her handprints on the shirt. It's freaking beautiful. Great idea. Something that people can cherish forever. And yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. And just the news with Lamar just sort of, really cements an idea of stuff like this. We should, be sure to acknowledge the folks that we say we love in our life. If we care, make sure we know they care. Make sure they know we care, I should say. Don't leave anything up to just an assumption, if you will. So, yeah, that's a cool little video, and I'll put a link in the little notes of this here bonus episode. Now, next thing I wanted to hop on, just a little bit of catch up. This is a post from me on Instagram, and the Patreon members, they knew this ahead of time, but I shared on Instagram, quote, "It was a historical, proud moment for me sharing the set with one of my hardhead sons, Jacob Pruitt, on this photo shoot. For some reason, he got more camera time than I did, maybe because it was his first time on set." And then, of course, I get into my marketing aspect of it. But yeah, Jake was able to go to a photo shoot with me. I think it was last weekend, or maybe it was weekend before last. I really cannot remember because my days just run together, apparently. But what happened was there was a photo shoot coming up, and I was in the running for it, and was waiting around, and they said, "Okay, just don't go anywhere yet. We're still trying to cast this. Waiting around. Because the good thing about it was there was still communication between me and casting, right? Because if they start ghosting you, you're done. You're cooked. It's not going to happen. But if casting is interested in you, they will email a gazillion times and pretty much ask you the same question. You sure you're available? You sure you're available? Yes, I'm available. Yes, I've confirmed I'm available. Well, on this one, it finally came down to the 11th hour, and they let me know that they went ahead with the other guy. So I said, all right, that's fine. Cool. Shit happens. You know, that's the name of the game. It's a numbers game. But then they hit me up again like the next day and says, hey, we didn't cash you for that, but we got some background spots open if you're interested. And I said, sure, I'll do it. You know, I could use the money. You know, it's not as much money, but it's money that I can use right now. And I said, sure, I'll do it. And also my son is available too. I just said it just like that and said message. And then I stuck a picture of him in there. And they responded back with, wow, yeah, he'd be great for this. Let me make sure our client is okay with him being there. And it wasn't 10 minutes later, they hit me back. Yep, we'll see you both there. Stay tuned for the confirmation and the call sheet, blah, 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 blah. And I remember telling Jake, because he wasn't even here. You know, he didn't know none of this shit was happening. He was out probably in class or something like that. And I just messaged him, you're not doing anything on such and such day? And he was like, no. And I said, all right, well, you're about to be casted into that, you know. And I said, you're going to be available. I basically just told him he's going to be available. And I told casting, I'm going to make him available. Make him available. Because that way he could get paid too. Because, hey, we need this cash, you know. So we get to the shoot. And, you know, I tried to give him some heads up on it, on the experience, and, you know, let him know this is potentially going to be a long day. It's usually about 9 hours, but it could be up to 12 hours or so. And we get to the shoot, and it was down. Actually, it was closer to San Jose than anything. It was a little further down south. And it was a good experience. He got to meet some people that I already knew because, as usual, it seems like the local modeling community is pretty tight knit. And every time I've gone on set, I recognize somebody because I've seen them on set somewhere else. And so we all just chit chat and do what we do. Had a good time. And he was able to see the behind the scenes of, you know, what happens with a photo shoot, putting stuff together, you know, with all of the equipment and the flow of it. You know, because if you're doing background, you really do get the opportunity to see the whole picture as background, you know. And a lot of times when you're background, even though they're telling you to line up on set, a lot of times you're not even seen in the shot. You know, that's just because of editing and stuff like that. But it still gives you the opportunity to take in some information and possibly learn some stuff about the whole process and procedures. As well as do some networking there and get to meet other people and hopefully make some nice connections. And one thing that we laughed about, or at least I laughed about it, I don't know if y'all remember, but several months back on the show, I talked about being on this one set and just how beautiful people were when I walked in and see the people on set. It blows my mind to this day still. Because it's like, where are they finding these people? When I go to the grocery store, the gas station or whatever, I'm not seeing these people. I mean, these people they're absolutely beautiful. And so when we're on set for this thing, he's seeing exactly what I'm talking about. The people are ridiculously beautiful. And even the background people, just wow. And so there was one time we were setting up for this shot. He and I were background, and it was actually it was actually for this shot here where we were standing. It was actually for this shot here. So we're standing in the background just waiting, and you can see there on the screen they got the lights and so forth back there. And the hero talent is somewhere over here on this side in the frame, you know. And he's standing there and he's looking at the hero talent and he's like, yeah, I see. I get it. Why he's the hero. I mean, because the man, it was a guy. The dude was just perfect. I mean, the chiseled jaw and beautiful facial hair and makeup. And when you see these people on the billboards and on the TV screen and on the movie screen, yeah, they're attractive. But when you see them with your own eyes, it's something else, man, just to see how beautiful some of these people are. There was another shot. Hold on. There's a question from the live chat. John says, what's been your biggest casting you've had? That's an interesting question because big has two meanings in this situation to me. Because I have one that's definitely been like that was the money one. But then I still think the biggest one for me, as far as like recognition, was the Amazon one that's been playing over and over. And the Ethos one was pretty big too, but I think the Amazon ad was probably my biggest. Actually, I'm going to take that back. The Amazon is the biggest that has aired. I'll say that. I'll just let that hang there. That is in my opinion, that is the biggest one to me that has aired. It didn't pay the most money. It paid well, but because there was another shoot that I was on, actually the one that I was just getting ready to talk about, that paid way more. And I'm grateful for that, because on that set, that was a set with more just unbelievably beautiful people. There was a lady on there. She was, this is how beautiful she was. She was on the cover of Sports Illustrated swimsuit at one time. That's all I can say. I mean, that's the level of beauty that walks on these sets, man. And I'm telling you, it's one thing to see it on the page and on the screen, but when you see these people with your own eyes, it stops you in your tracks. It's really fascinating, and I'm glad I have some confidence, because man, it's you'll want to walk out of the room when you see some of these people. John says suspense. Yeah, I can't say because it's an NDA. But I'm very, very happy to have been a part of that project. And I'll talk about it more later. Ooh, here's an audition request. Oh, that's great. That's great. And you know, what's funny is, I don't know if y'all could see that, but yeah, that's an audition request. What's funny is I didn't expect anything to be happening this week, y'all, because it's the holidays. So I thought if I didn't get cast for this photo shoot that's happening today, I'm just going to chill out and just do much of nothing and wait around, because a lot of stuff that they were doing casting calls for went out last week so they can be shot right after the new year. You know, so last week was a bit of a hustle, you know, and I figured this week ain't nobody doing nothing, but man, this stuff's still going out there today. And I just got an audition request, so I'm going to have to get off of here pretty soon. Yeah, so that's what's been going on modeling wise and the family wise. Everybody's doing okay. Phoebe is still over there in Carolina handling that. Can't say when she'll be back, but she'll be back over here at some point. But in the meantime, Hardhead and we're still here just holding down the fort, trying to keep the lights on and doing what we do and handling stuff with the daggum dog or what have you. So that's that. Anything else I wanted to touch on? Oh, yeah. One more thing here. John Helm says here in the chat, what's he say? Awesome to see how much your castings have stepped up for you. Hey, thank you, man. I appreciate that. I've said a long time ago, and to you and everyone in our Patreon community in particular, you know, dude, this is, I know it can come off as far-fetched, but y'all, I freaking believe this stuff is just going to continue to grow and escalate. And everybody that's in this Patreon community and in my inner circle, you know who you are. I'm telling you now, when I win, we all win. That's it. Ask my family, because my family, they know when I say that, I mean that. When I win, we all win. And I feel that win coming, and it's going to be great. It's going to be great. Yeah, so thank you, brother. I appreciate that. The last thing I want to touch on before we get out of here is just another random conversation we had in the Patreon community, and it is from a video. So let me see if I could share my screen again. And does this have audio?
Psychology says people who treat their birthday like a normal day aren't cold, ungrateful, or emotionless.
All right. So the video is titled "The Psychology of People Who Treat Their Birthday Like a Normal Day." And when I saw this video, 95% of it was like, yeah, I've been saying this for years to my family every single year. So let me skip ahead. And the first point is, what's this?
Who they truly are. 1. They don't seek external validation.
And there's a bit of a fine line on that. No, I don't seek out an external validation, but I get that external validation is a part of my livelihood. I'm a freaking model. So somebody's eyeballs on me validates me as someone that's worthy of being in front of the lens and them signing over money to me to do so. So it's a fine line, but yet at the same time, I don't have a problem just going out of these four walls into the world, being me, being authentically me, looking the way I look, talking the way I talk, and you know, dress. You know, I don't change any of that stuff. You know,
Many people enjoy birthdays because they love attention, celebration, and being recognized.
that ain't me.
But some people simply don't rely on external validation to feel valued. They don't need a special day to feel important. Their self-worth comes from within. Psychologists call this low social dependency, and it's common in emotionally independent personalities.
Boom. Emotionally independent personality. That's me. Is that you? All right. Number 2.
2. Their brain doesn't like forced social pressure.
Nope. Not one bit. Not one bit. Dude, that is why my social media is automated. It's I don't want to be forced to be social. And there are so many people that's their thing. They have to. I used to give Phoebe shit years ago, because she was the type of person. I don't know. I don't think she's like that now. But she, and there were several other people that I would see it just out of my own personal observation. They'd clock out for the end of the day of work, and as they're walking out of the job, as they're walking through the door to go to their car, they got that phone and they're dialing. It's like, I gotta talk to somebody, and those conversations were generally just gossipy or, child, man, let me tell you about this and that. I don't know. I never quite understood it, but apparently they needed those conversations and just needed that chatter or whatever. And it always seemed forced to me. And because every now and then you catch people, they just dial in the phone and they literally just holding the phone and not even talking, just holding the phone. So I don't know. It always seemed forced to me, and that's just not my cup of tea.
Birthdays often come with expectations. Be happy, celebrate, host people, smile, be social.
That right there. People that feel like, all right, it's your birthday, so you should be having a party of some sort, some get together of some sort. That was never me. Why? I just want to chill out.
For some minds, this forced performance feels draining, not exciting. Their nervous system prefers natural interactions, not situations where they have to feel a certain way. So treating the day normally feels more peaceful.
Nailed it. Normal day, me on the couch with a beer or a whiskey, some football. Well, in my case, it wouldn't be football. It would be rerun football because my birthday. Yeah. Enough
3.
about that.
They reflect more than they celebrate.
Yep.
Psychologists say birthdays trigger a cognitive process called self-evaluation. Some people feel the weight of time passing more deeply. Not in a sad way, but in a reflective way.
Right.
Instead of partying, their mind shifts toward, where am I in life?
Yep. And that's 100% me as well. And for years, when that clock hits midnight for my actual birthday, I literally sit there and stop and give thanks. For as long as I can remember as an adult, I'm always awake. I'm not asleep at midnight when it's for my birthday. And I take a few minutes to say a prayer and give thanks to God and just sort of look back on the year, be it tumultuous, be it great, what have you. And I just reflect and just give thanks for being able to make one more journey around the sun, as the nerds like to say. But I am grateful to have another year under my belt, and I'm grateful for the opportunity of another year coming forward, you know?
What changed? What didn't?
Yeah.
This reflection makes a quiet day more meaningful than a loud celebration. 4. They dislike being the center of attention.
All right. Again, the weird juxtaposition here. My livelihood is I'm someone that's in front of camera. I am dead centered attention. That light is on me. Boom, right then and there. I'm the center of attention. I worked for a podcast network where I'm talking into a camera and into a microphone and with other people on a panel. You know, you're definitely the center of attention during those moments, you know?
Not because they're insecure, but because their social wiring doesn't crave spotlight moments. Being the focus can activate mild social vigilance. All eyes, all expectations, all reactions. A normal day feels more authentic and less performative.
And with that being said, I can think back to times of working at Pruitt and doing when the show was called This Week in Google. That show would be 2 hours of conversation or what have you, and good spirited conversation. We would yell at each other, not necessarily at each other, but yell about particular points and what have you. Really good conversation and interacting with the chat room and stuff like that. Similar to now, you know, John Helm in the chat says there's a difference between authenticity and validation. Yeah, it is. But again, for those 2 hours, myself and my co-host, we were the spotlight. We were we were the center of attention, you know. But in general, I don't want spotlight and center of attention like that. But I get it for my livelihood that I have to be spotlight and center of attention. And so at the end of the show, I'd pack my stuff up and come home. And there was a lot of times I would come home and I just don't want to talk. I just want to be quiet for half an hour, or what have you. And at first, my better half didn't quite get that. But that was just a way for me to sort of find center and get back to the more comfortable, less social Aunt Pruitt, you know. Yeah, it was an effort. And I can remember Miss Stacy Higginbotham says that she pretty much does the same thing. She gets off the mic and she steps away into a corner on her own. And it's not about a depression or anything like that. It's literally we need to, as John Helm says in the chat here, decompress. Nailed it. That's exactly what it is. We need to decompress. And I don't know why that is, but it just felt right. We don't like that center of attention very much.
5. They value genuine connection over rituals.
Yes.
For these individuals, a random deep conversation on an ordinary day means more than a birthday post. Psychology
Nailed
calls
it.
this quality over ritual preference.
Nailed it. Nailed
They
it.
care more
Nailed
about
it.
real interactions than calendar-based traditions.
Exactly.
6.
I got to tell you, it was fun for a while. Every New Year, I get this stupid Happy New Year text in my phone, and I would see the name that the message came from, and I'm like, dude or woman, I haven't spoken to you in months, and you're sending me this Happy New Year. That's what my brain is saying. I wouldn't even answer those. I would just delete them. I would delete them and delete their name and contact out of my phone, because I knew that was a bullshit message. You didn't really mean to send that to me. You sent that in a group text because that's the social thing to do, apparently. You didn't really mean that. So I'd cut them off. And so my address book got thinner and thinner and thinner over the years. And it's funny because later on in the year, I may end up getting a message from one of those folks, and based on what they say in the message, I would reply back, I don't know who this is. Something like that. And they would say, it's so-and-so. We had numbers, blah, blah, blah. And I would reply back to them, well, I ain't never hear from you, so I deleted your number. And that would start a whole new conversation of realness, And so people would, some of those folks would fall off. Most of them did. They'd just totally fall off. And then a handful of them would be like, my bad. We'll do better about communication. But most of them don't. Most of them just totally fall off. So the happy birthday messages and stuff like that. Yeah, I know the real ones when I get them. Cindy, you're one of them. Tanya Wyman, you're one of them. Yeah, I know the real ones. And those are always cherished.
6. They emotionally regulate differently. Some brains avoid emotional spikes, even positive ones, because highs are followed by crashes.
Mm-hmm.
So keeping the day simple helps them stay emotionally balanced.
Yep, that is me. Even as they come. And that used to drive Phoebe nuts, y'all. Oh my God, that would totally piss her off. I see a message from John Helm in the chat. It says, those texts right above was from the same one from last year. That's their form of validation to send those messages. Yep. Yeah, I've seen that. The last message from them was the exact same message the previous year. He says, that's why I got tired of sending happy birthdays through Facebook. If you're in my circle, I'll send you a message. Well, yeah. See, John, this is why you and I are eye to eye, bro. So, I feel you, bro. That's funny.
This isn't detachment. It's mental regulation.
Oh, the even kill thing. That used to kill Phoebe with regards to me. Because she'd like to see me express happiness about this or that kind of thing. And I'd have to tell her I am happy, but what she saw didn't necessarily equate as happy about such and such or whatever. And she said, but you always look happier about football. And I had to explain it. It is a different type of emotion for me when it comes to me yelling and losing my voice at a football game versus being extremely proud of something my family did. And it's two different boxes, two different compartments, because for the most part, I'm fairly even. I'm not too high, and I'm hardly ever low like that, and it served me well. It's helped me in a lot of different situations, private situations of my life, because in certain conversations, the person that is the calm and collective, they tend to get more things accomplished, and they tend to have a clearer thought path on certain missions and whatnot. So yeah, it is what it is. That's just me.
So if you're someone who treats your birthday like any other day, You're not strange. Your psychology leans toward independence, reflection, and emotional balance, qualities that actually make you more self-aware than you realize. If you want more psychology videos that explain
Good stuff. Good stuff. Oh, that's Phoebe's calling me right now. I'm going to have to tell her I'll call her back. So let me decline that. There it is. She must have heard me. Heard me mention her name. I'll call her back in a minute. Anyway, so that is just the bonus time for you folks here that I wanted to share and just to check in. I hope y'all are doing okay. Again, I'm not sure when episode 100 is going to happen. Because again, I want it to be acknowledged that it's episode 100, so right now these are just one-offs, and it's only going to show up inside of the Patreon feed, and it may be on the YouTube feed for a little while. I don't know, but definitely going to be in the Patreon feed. But I wanted to check in and let everybody know everything is going okie dokie, if you will. Could be better, but I'm feeling very fortunate and blessed as always, and still believing in the good fight. And it's been great to communicate with everyone inside of the Patreon community and our little weekly chat threads that we have. Like right now, the chat thread has been the last thing I have in here is there's a musical being casted right now, and it's called the Arrow Rock Conspiracy, a D&D, as in Dungeons and Dragons, musical. God help us all. That came to me because it felt like I fit the filter, of being in this particular thing. Heck no, I'm not going to do no musical. Are you crazy? No. But yeah, that's been part of the conversation today here inside of Patreon. So if you're interested in joining the Patreon community, you can join it for free, folks. Go to patreon.com/AntPruitt. Again, that's patreon.com/AntPruitt. You can join it for free and be a part of the social interaction. We have fun in there, even down to talking about the new cats Miss Malika has and getting them acclimated to the house. Lots of fun stuff, as well as following Mr. Joe Esposito and his painting and his crazy ass podcast, and Matt Lee and his crazy ass podcast, and John Hamm. I don't see you in there very often, but I know you're there. So, and Mr. Clarence, it's always good to see you up in there too. But that's what's been going on. Just a bit of a catch up. I hope everyone has a great holiday season. Again, if it's people that you care about, let them know that you care about them. Don't leave anything out there hanging. All right. I'm probably going to do like a little best of, because I think I did a best of last year. So I'll put a little best of out there into the regular podcast feed at some point. And yeah, hopefully y'all enjoy that, and we'll just keep going from there. Thanks for everything, everybody. And I shall see you all soon. Take care. All right. Recording is stopped. All right, everybody. I shall see y'all later. You too, creep. Merry Christmas, John. Merry Christmas, brother.